Am I the asshole for telling my husband his daughter is embarrassing me? Throwaway due to personal info shared. Also changed names for privacy. Yesterday I, 30F, was chilling at home with my mill, talking and drinking coffee. When husband, 37M, arrived, he asked me if I would take his daughter, 12F, shopping for a dress. A little bit of context: when he was younger my husband had a relationship with a woman, let's call her Sarah, and they had married their daughter. He was having his rebel phase, going against his parents with this relationship, but it did not last. He realized they are way too different as individuals and broke up when Mary was 3. I met my husband 6 years ago and we got married 4 years ago. Our relationship is amazing and I get along extremely well with my in-laws. I was immediately accepted into the family and my mother-in-law treats and introduces me to people as her daughter. As you can imagine, this has caused a lot of drama with Sarah because she never received the same treatment from the family, but truthfully speaking she is not someone you wish to have in your social circle. Mary and I get along good. Everyone is on the same page that she has a mother and that I am not trying to replace her, I am just her father's wife. However, she spends most of her time with her mom and Sarah is teaching her extreme hippie bullshit like she should not abide by the expectations society has on women. She should not feel pressured to act, look or behave as what society considers acceptable and so on. Mary therefore is allowed by her mom to not shower for days in a row, wear dirty clothes, not brush her teeth or hair. This has become her way of living because she refuses to shower or dress properly all the time. It pains me to say, but she could pass as a homeless child if you see her on the street due to her appearance. Back to yesterday, 1 month from now the entire family will attend a gala where my husband will receive an award. It's an important moment in his career and he asked me if I will go with his daughter to buy a dress for the event. I told him honestly that I prefer not to. I explained that I really feel embarrassed being seen with Mary in public. She dresses horrible and most of the time her clothes are dirty, she stinks and does not brush her hair. Mother-in-law agreed and mentioned to my husband that it would be best if Mary does not attend this event because she will make us look bad in front of all the people that will be present. I was on my MIL's side. Husband was sad, but he also agreed with us and mentioned he will think about it. Am I the asshole? YTA, you're focused on appearance, how others will see you, instead of the situation at hand. This child is being neglected, in terms of personal hygiene. Bad teeth care will likely cause horrible problems down the line, e.g. cavities, losing teeth, etc. She is a little girl. She doesn't know better. She is just following the guidance of her mom. When you're a kid, you don't know better. You see embarrassment. I see neglect. Why is your husband not doing anything when she is in his care? Why is your husband not petitioning the court to get more time with her? Is it because you're too worried about appearance? Maybe look in the mirror and see what you're missing, respectfully. This girl deserves better care. I hope y'all do something. Sparkles purple heart. Everyone sucks here except Mary. You couldn't possibly come off as more condescending. Your husband was a 25-year-old grown man when he had his child, hardly a teenager going through a rebel phase. The level of exaggeration makes it hard for me to know how accurate your description of Mary's state is, but you are the asshole for being embarrassed of a child. Your mother-in-law is the asshole for the same reason. Your husband is the asshole for allowing his child to be belittled like this, and her mother is the asshole if indeed the child is being neglected to the point of stinking. Not the asshole. Sarah is right. You don't have to conform to what society considers normal. However, in doing so, you also have to accept that no one has to interact with that behavior. Op isn't the girl's mother. It's not her responsibility. She's vocalized what everyone else is thinking. It's now up to the girl's father to sort it out. Well done, Op, for being the voice of reason. I just hope someone explains to Mary why her lack of hygiene is going to exclude her from future events and also the detrimental effect it could cause to her health. I hope Mary likes dentists. If you go through the comment while Op's stepkid could do with upping up her hygiene, the opening post is grossly exaggerated. The kid seems to do well in school, going to dentists, etc. What she occasionally does is weeing a shirt 2 to 3 times a row, which while not great is hardly making you look like you live in Skid Row. Op comes off as snobby and is clearly looking down on the kid's mom, the kid. Classy ladies, like you have called yourself, Op, don't need to look down on others. You are creating a problem where there isn't any and you are not classy. You are the asshole. You are the asshole. From your comments, it sounds like she just doesn't fit your aesthetic. Not the asshole. But her dad needs to speak to Mary about the event and tell he would love her to go, but she needs clean up. I'm sure Mary's hygiene is gonna cause problems with other people her age if she smells and has bad breath. Kids can be really cruel and her dad is doing her a disservice by ignoring the situation. Am I the asshole for stitching up my boyfriend's toy with the wrong thread? The title sounds stupid because it is. Yes, my boyfriend James, 24M, are both grown-ass adults and he has a stuffed toy turtle. He's weirdly attached to the stupid thing. He keeps it in his closet, and occasionally takes it out to look at it for a bit before putting it back. It's slightly larger than the size of my hand, gray and pretty unremarkable. Recently I've gotten a bit suspicious of the thing, which sounds stupid, but it does look like it's meant to hide something, and whenever he picks it up, he squeezes it a little as if to check the inside. About a week ago, I couldn't take the curiosity anymore, and took the thing out myself. There were stitches on the underside, and I took a little nail clipper and opened it. I just wanted to see what was inside. It ended up just being a pen. I stitched it back closed of course, and he didn't notice. This morning, he took it out again, and this time he noticed. Apparently I used the wrong shade of gray. James was furious, and called me quite a few names, including that I was the worst person to have ever existed ever and that he despised me. I reminded him that when I'd asked if I could touch it, he said I could do whatever as long as I put it back right. He said that, obviously, didn't extend to cutting it open and I was a psycho. He hasn't been speaking to me since, and is keeping the turtle with him, even though he's pretty embarrassed of it. Yes? You're the asshole WTF. How did you reread the fact that you physically damaged one of your boyfriend's favorite items, which probably has immense sentimental value to him, and then didn't even having the decency to let him know this? Are you no fix-it? Not to mention you're fixating on this stuffed animal as if it will somehow absolve you of blame. You think it's weird? Fine, maybe a little cold-hearted, but fine. That does not give you the right to dismiss him. You're both grown-ass adults? Well, guess what? Grown-ass adults don't destroy other people's property. That's a crime. So instead of berating the person you're supposed to love in the hopes of getting internet sympathy points, maybe try growing as a person? You are the asshole. You are the asshole. For your actions, your attitude, and your misleading title. He's weirdly attached to the stupid thing. You actually had me at that here. How rude and judgmental of you. There were stitches on the underside, and I took a little nail clipper and opened it. As opposed to just asking him what is in there that is so important to him. How intrusive it is to vandalize someone else's property to satisfy your curiosity, no matter how small the item. You are the asshole. What is your fixation on the stuffed toy? Lots of people have keepsakes like stuffed animals. I have one, for sentimental reasons. It's not stupid, nor does the item have to be remarkable. What was stopping you from just asking your BF? No, you had to snoop, physically damaging it and exposing deep trust issues on your part. On top of that, you're not even remorseful. Your excuse is that he said you could do whatever you want with it as long as it's put back. Apologize, sincerely and profusely for how horrible your actions were. If you genuinely feel no remorse, if you can't apologize sincerely, if you can't start respecting his feelings for thus stuffed turtle, you should break up because he deserves someone better. Info. Why on earth didn't you just ask him instead of cutting his childhood memento open? You are the asshole. You betrayed his trust over your own insecurities and have the audacity to think that sewing up the hole you made equates with putting it back right. How often do you go through his phone? Don't bother whining to Reddit when he dumps you. Massive, you are the asshole. I'm 36, and have sentimental teddies from my childhood and ones from my parents' childhood. That gives one no right to question me like I'm a bit of a freak if I want to look at them or have a hug from them. And to be honest, you sound pretty easy to dislike with your mentality of not trying to sympathize, empathize or anything with your boyfriend over it, and just ask when suspicious. Instead you take to opening it up aggressively. Am I the asshole for kicking out my brother's girlfriend and threatening to kick him out too? Throwaway. I, 26F, have a brother, 23M, Ian, and we're incredibly close. Ian went Air Force and now lives in my house, pays little rent to me so he can mostly save. Ian dated Gia, 23F, at 16. It was short-lived but he adored her, it ended badly. Now he's dating her again. I voiced my concern to him but gave her a fair shot. We got along okay and have some shared interests, so things were fine until like 8 hours ago. Ian borrowed my car on the fly for a few hours. Clearly Gia didn't know I was home and carless, because she let herself in, didn't love that recent habit to be honest. And from upstairs I faintly hear, "Love you baby, see ya tonight." Which is fucking weird because I am very literally on the phone with Ian talking about when he'll get his car back. I'm very passive, but I hang up in a weird haze to go downstairs. Said something along the lines of, "Who's baby?" hoping I misheard. She kind of froze and tried to tell me it was Ian, and told her to try again because we were just on the phone. To my fucking disbelief, she says it's her ex-boyfriend that she's going to break up with when their lease is up. An ex doesn't need breaking up with? That's a boyfriend? I ask if Ian knows and she says he knows she's stuck living with an ex. At that point, I said something like, "Get the fuck out of my house and never come back." She pretty much beat feet without a fight and I just kinda went numb waiting to tell Ian. He shows up an hour later steaming about me harassing Gia. I tell him she admitted she's still involved with the man she's living with, and he furiously informs me that I misunderstood and they're not remotely together. Eventually, I said he could get out too if he's gonna bury his head and contribute to an affair. He thinks I'm holding her past against her and says he pays rent anyway, so have no say on his guests. I'm honestly thinking of hunting down the not ex online. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. You were looking out for your brother, and her story sounds sketchy. If he's paying rent, he can have guests, but you still have a right to set boundaries in your own house, especially when there's dishonesty involved. It's easy. All Ian has to do is stay over at Gia's for a couple of nights now he's not at your place. That will sort it out. Not the asshole. Your reaction is understandable given the situation you found yourself in. It's fair to expect that anyone staying in your home respects the boundaries and relationships involved. If Gia was still involved with another person, especially while staying in your house, it's reasonable to ask her to leave. It's also not unreasonable for you to expect Ian to respect your home and the boundaries you set, especially if it involves questionable behavior. Your concerns at this situation are valid, and you were right to address them directly. You're not the asshole for setting boundaries in your own house, especially when something feels shady. Just try to calmly talk with your brother about your concerns so you don't end up making things worse between you two. Trust your gut but stay open to hearing him out too. Not the asshole. Your brother is an adult. It's your house. You have the right to kick people out. You have the right to kick him out. But, if he's paying rent, you can't just change the amount of rent you want to charge. I'm not sure where you're going with that. I think you should have a serious conversation with your brother about what you think happened and why you think it happened. But you don't have to let people you don't like in your house. That's that. Not the asshole. You're right for trying to protect your brother. I don't think it's unreasonable to be upset when you find out your brother is being hurt, and then being upset again when your brother thinks you're against the woman and him. I don't know how far you want to take things. Your brother does have a point in that he pays rent and he should be allowed to have guests. But that should only apply so long as the guest that is staying does not infringe on your happiness as well. Your brother pays rent. If it's that important to you to push the point, stop accepting the rent, especially if there is no lease term, and ask him to leave. As much as this pisses you off, it is his life and his choice. You've done your part. Now let him use the knowledge his way. Am I the asshole if I, 18 female, reject my uncle's gift? I'm an 18 female and recently got some prize money for getting high grades in school. It was a good amount and I wanted to spend it on a new device that's better than the current one I have. But since the brand I want is unavailable in my country, I asked my relative abroad to buy it for me and I will transfer them the money for the item and shipping. But when I asked my relative to buy it, they suggested a different, less expensive brand, saying that spending so much money is a waste, but the brand they suggested is of a lower quality as well and has less features. I tried to refuse, but they only pushed more and even said they would pay for everything since it's cheaper, and soon my already anxious self cracked and just said yes under the pressure since they were now paying for it. They already ordered the item and will be shipping it to me soon. Will I be the asshole if I simply ask him to return it and I will buy the item myself? You are the asshole. You shouldn't have agreed to it. You just learned a valuable lesson. Don't let other people pressure you into things. State your opinion, stick up for yourself, and keep logic, facts on your side. Remember, no is a full and complete sentence. Yes, I am afraid you will. You agreed, and he ordered it. There's nothing saying you can't own two devices. It's nice sometimes to take a cheaper device along when you're traveling or doing something that might result in losing or damaging your device. Accept your uncle's gift with gratitude and grace, and enlist someone else's help to get the device you actually want. Are you certain you can't get the one you want by mail, via Amazon or other type of reseller? You are the asshole. Now they already spend money because you confirmed you want it. Don't promise people something you want keep. Nah, but you are 18 now. You need to learn how to say no firmly enough that others will really get the message. You can be polite and firm at the same time. It's not what you really want. If you quickly can reach him and explain that you made a mistake in agreeing, do so and apologize for wasting his time. If it is too late, graciously thank him. And accept the lesson that this experience has taught you.